ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सहगणरघुनाथान्वितं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सहगणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकान्त राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तुते। तप्तकाञ्चन गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। नमो महावदान्याय कृष्णप्रेमप्रदायिने कृष्णाय कृष्णचैतन्य नामिने गौरत्विषे नमः। पञ्चतत्त्वात्मकं कृष्णं भक्तरूपस्वरूपकं भक्तावतारं भक्ताख्यं नमामि भक्तशक्तिकं। श्रीकृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासदि गौरभक्तवृंदा। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे। जन्माद्यस्य यतोऽन्वयादितरतश्चार्थेषुभिज्ञस्वराट् तेने ब्रह्म हृदय आदिकवये मुह्यन्ति यत्सूरयः। तेजो वारिमृदां यथा विनिमयो यत्र त्रिसर्गो मृषा धाम्ना स्वेन सदा निरस्तकुहकं सत्यं परं धीमहि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। स्वस्ति अस्तु विश्वस्य खलः प्रसीदतां ध्यायन्तु भूतानि शिवं मिथो धिया। मनश्च भद्रं भजता ददोक्षजे आविश्यतां नो मतिरप्यहेतुकी। Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 8, Chapter number 1, beginning from verse number 4. So in this chapter we read how King Parikshit he asked question to Sri Sukadeva Goswami about the Manus. So as we discussed in the previous class that the management of this universe is controlled by a set of people who are called Manu, Devas, Rishis, Yajna-avatar or Manvantara-avatar. So the sons of Manu, so they all combine together, look after the functioning of the universe, and they all stay for a specific period. So in one day of Brahma there are 14 groups. It's like there is a government which comes for 4 years, 5 years, some specific period, then it changes and another one comes. So the posts are the same but the people change. So similarly the universe also there is a management, there are posts, this Indra, Manu, Avatara, the sons of Manu and the various Devas, 33 of them. So they all change. 7 rishis are there, sages. and they stay for 71 cycle of the 4 yugas. And then the new ones come. So the first one was Swayambhuva Manu, who was son of Brahma, and that was described in the previous 3 chapters. So he and his sons, and then whole dynasty. So then he asked to know about the others. So this is what he is going to describe here. Rishiruvacha, says Sukdev said, Mano asmin vyatita shat kalpe swam bhuvadayah adyaste katto yatra devadinam cha sambhava akutyam devhutya cha duhitrostasya vai manoho dharma jnanopadeshartham bhagavan putratam gataha kritam pura bhagavatah kapilasya nuvarnitam akhyasya bhagavan yagyo yadakara kurudvaha viraktaha kama bhogeshu shatarupapati prabhu visrijya rajyam tapse sabharyo vanamashita sanandayam varshatam padekena puvam sprishan tapyamanas tato ghoram vidan manvaha bharata. So he says that there are 6 manus which have passed, and the present one is the 7th one. And the first one I have already described, and also described the birth of the various devas, sages. He had 2 daughters, actually 3, Akuti, Dehuti and Prasuti, and 2 sons. So he says that I have described that Dharma Jnana Upadeshartham Bhagavan Putratam Gata, and Lord himself became the son Yajna, son of Akuti, and Kapila was son of Dehuti. So these were 2 avatars. So Kapila's instructions were described in 3rd canto in great detail. Kritam puram bhagavata kapilasya nuvarnitam akhyasya bhagavan yagyo yachakara kurudva. Now I am going to describe you about the activities of Yajna. Viraktaha kam bhogeshu satarupapati prabhu visrijya rajyam tapse sabharya vanamashita. So when Swambhu Manu, he became renounced in material activities, then along with his wife he entered into the forest to perform austerity. Sunandayam varshatam pada ekena bhuvan sprishan. He went to the bank of the river called Sunanda in the forest, and there he stood on 1 foot for 100 years. So you see that Babaji there, sometimes standing on one foot, right? Now we don't see him. No, there, on the bank of Yamuna, before Keshi Ghat. So Manu, he was standing like this for 100 years. So he tried to stand 1 hour, then you will understand the difficulty to stand for 1 year. Then all the blood will come in that leg and it will swell. So, and what about eating and bathroom? So, tapyamanas tato ghoram idam manvaha bharata. And then, while doing this, he was also chanting the following stotra. It was not that he was just standing and listening to some music. Right? These days people do that. They go for jogging, cycling, and then they put some music in their ear. So they do some tapasya, some austerity, but they are not without headphones. So he was chanting himself. So, why is this being described? What actually is the purpose in all this? There is always some meaning behind. That is called Vyanjana Vritti. There is a meaning, you read the story and then something else which the speaker or the author actually intends to convey. So that is called Tatparya Vritti. Means what is his purpose in telling the story? And what is the purpose of asking this story? So the idea is that first of all everybody likes to hear stories. That's why people read newspaper, they read novels, they watch shows on TV, videos, YouTube, all types of things you watch. So people have interest in it, and through those stories they want to inform about few basic things about life, and that's why these things keep coming again and again. So one of the point which always comes is Vairagya. That so and so king, he ruled for so long and then he gave up and he went to forest, right? So we read about Dhruva, we read about Prahlad, we read about Bharat, Jad Bharat story. So many stories we read earlier. We read also about Kardama Muni. So they were all great people who had a lot of power, very long life, and they had a lot of opulence. But they all gave up. So why this is being said? Because they want to tell us that don't become attached. Your life is not even so long. This person, he lived a very long life. You can imagine how long he must have lived, because for 100 years he was standing on one leg. So he actually lived not thousands but hundreds of thousands of years. So we live 100 years barely, if at all. And in that we become so much attached. So this is to give us the idea or this instruction that don't become attached, because very soon all this will be lost. You will be separated from everything you have now, one day. And every day you are coming closer and closer to that time when you will be separated. Whatever you possess at present, you will not have it one day. And this is a fact. This is reality. Reality is not what we are imagining. Reality is this. So that is what they are trying to tell, that don't remain in illusion and look at the reality. So even such great people who had so much, who were ruling the universe, Manu is the ruler. You don't rule on anything. You only work hard and then pay taxes. So he was actually ruling, and he says that he became virakta. Virakta means detached. Literally it means no blood. Rakta means blood. So because we have attachment to blood, blood signifies attachment. So I say he is related to me, he has blood relation. So virakta kam bhogeshu, in all material pleasures and then he left. And then he is reciting the following prayer, which will also speak the same thing about the reality. So there is hardly any commentary on this. So now the following verses, they describe what he was reciting. He was reciting some kind of stotra or prayer. Yena chetayate vishvam vishvam chetayate nayam yo jagarti shayane asmin ayam tam veda vedasa. So Manu says that the person who makes this universe function, who infuses life into the universe. Universe also has a life. Science also agrees that universe was created, it is living now, and then one day it will collapse. Of course they think that it is just a material object, but actually it is a living being. Just as we are living and we are breathing, universe also is breathing like that, it has life. So he says one who infuses life into it. So just as we infuse life into the body, we are not the body, we are separate from the body, and we make the body conscious. And when we leave the body, then we say the person is dead, because the source of consciousness leaves or goes out. So similarly, there is somebody who infuses life into the universe. Yena chetayate vishvam. Vishwam chetayate nayam. But the universe does not give life to him. So just like the Atma, the soul is giving life to the body is not giving life to the soul. So yena chetayate vishwam, vishwam na chetayate yam. Who gives life to the universe and the universe does not give life to him. Yo jagarti shayane yasmin. And who remains awake when the universe sleeps. So when the universe will be destroyed, that is the meaning of sleeping, he remains awake. It says one who knows that person actually knows the reality. So we may know many things, but if we do not know who gives life to the universe, then we are in ignorance still. So that is the real knowledge, that is the truth. Just as in this body, if we do not know who is giving life to the body, then we can study the body in great detail. We know the genes and hormones, so many things, cells in the body working. But if we do not know the source of consciousness in the body, then we don't know the truth yet. So therefore it says tam veda vedasa. One who knows him, that person is situated in knowledge. So what is the meaning of the prayer? That we should try to know him, because we don't want to remain situated in ignorance. We want to be situated in knowledge. Nobody likes to be called ignorant or foolish. We all want to be known as knowledgeable person. So this is what has to be known. And when you will know this, then you will feel satisfied that I know something. As long as you do not know him, you will always feel that I need to know. There is something more I want to know, more I want to know. You will never feel satisfied, content without knowing him. Once you will know him, then you will know that you know what is to be known. And there will be a sense of satisfaction. Because then you will understand the truth. So Sri Vishwanath comments, Yena ya iti So yena chetayate says yeah, chetayate vishvam chetani karoti. So one who brings consciousness to the universe, Viswam Gayatri Yamna Chetayate, and this world is not an agent making him conscious. Asmin Vishwasmin Shayane Sukti Sushupti Pralaya Gate Api Satiya Jagrati. Because when the universe is dissolved, still God remains. It is not that God comes to an end. He still continues to exist. Yasminsha yog nidram gate tuna idam vishwam jagarti. But when he sleeps, then the universe cannot remain awake. So God goes into yogic sleep. It's called yoga nidra. So means he does not support the functioning of the universe. That is called his sleep. So then the universe comes to an end. As long as he keeps his awareness of the universe, it functions, it remains alive. Otherwise, it goes to sleep. Prakram akshep labdham tasmadayam vishwavarti janastam naveda. Sacha hariridam nam veda. So, but he knows this universe does not know him. Because he is the cause and the universe is the effect. So the effect cannot know the cause unless cause himself reveals to the effect. It's like you cannot know the Father unless he reveals to you.
It is also said that there are infinite number of universes. There are infinite number of universes emanating from him. So when he sleeps, all of them obviously become a manifest. And when some of them are manifest, some other are manifest, he is awake.
Means he is awake towards them which are manifest and sleeping towards those which are not manifest.
So he can be simultaneously sleeping and awake.
Yeah, because his sleeping is not literally as we sleep. They said sleeping means that he is closing his support to that particular universe. So that is called his sleep as far as that universe is concerned. Otherwise he is awake. So Atma Vashyam Idam Vishwam Yat Kinchit Jagatyam Jagat Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magridha Kasya Svidhanam. This is a very important verse. This is also the first verse of Ishopanishad. Therefore Ishopanishad is called Ishavashyam. So except that the first word is different. There it says Ishavashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kinchit Jagatyam Jagat. Rest is same. Here it says Atma Vashyam Idam Vishwam. Meaning is same. So it says that this Vishwa, this universe, is Atma Avashyam. That it is pervaded by the Atma. Atma means the Supreme God, Supreme Immanent Being. So he is pervading it. Atma Vashyam Idam Vishwam Yat Kincha Jagatyam Jagat. So whatever is existing in this universe, all that is pervaded by him. And Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha Magridha Kasya Svit Dhanam. So what has been allocated by him, you use that and don't take more, So Magridha, Gridha means to be greedy. So greed comes from this Gridha root. That don't be greedy, because you should know to whom the wealth belongs. So everything belongs to the Supreme Person. Nothing belongs to really any other person, human being. So therefore he says Magridha. So don't have greed. Greed means desire to have more than what is necessary. So whether it is question of eating, overeating, or hoarding more than what is necessary for oneself. So he says one should know. Tasya Ishwaratvam Darsen Swaputra Patradikam Uddishya Hitam Upadishati Atmaili. So after explaining who is God or God should be known, then while referring to his sons and grandsons, he instructs them, he gives them beneficial instructions in this verse. Jagatyam trubhavane yat kinchit jagat sthanam sviya dehendriyadikam api tatsarvam atmano bhagavata eva avashyam avas vishay bhuta. Says in the three worlds, so earth and above and below, whatever is existing, whatever is place, so Jagat, it translates as Sthan, place, which refers to our own body, mind, senses, and everything else. Tat sarvam atmano bhagavata eva avashyam. So that is the place of residence of God. So God is living there. Karmani nyat. Samyak vasarham itiva. Or it is the proper place for him to live. Tenaiva swakridaspadattvena shrishtatvat iti bhava. Because it is created by him as place for him to play. So we think that it is place for us to play, but we hardly play. We only work. In reality, it is place for him to play, and therefore he actually plays. He does not work. So it is not that God he created for 6 days and he was tired, and 7th day he took rest. No, he does not get tired because he is playing happily. So there are 2 ways to look at this world. One way is to see that this world is for my enjoyment, and then I try to squeeze some pleasure, and I end up bound by my karma and into various types of troubles. And that is to see that everything, whatever is happening around us is actually a play. And you can also participate in that. So then you don't become attached. Because it's a play. Of course we have forgotten what it means to be play. So play means either you go and play in the field, that is one type of play. So when you actually play, you are not attached to that I am going to win or lose. You just play. If you win, fine. If you don't win, then also it's alright. The idea is just to play, right? But when we become attached to the fruit, then it becomes a problem if you lose, and it becomes a problem also if you win. So then you get into the competition. So then play becomes work. Because the difference between play and work is that in work, you are attached to the fruits of your action. And in play, you are not attached to the fruits of your action. Action is there both in work and play, but the difference is in our attachment to the action and its fruits. So when we work, we become attached. So these days, even if we play, we are not really playing, we become attached to the result. And the other play, the word play is used also when you enact something on the stage. That is also called play. Why it is also called play? Because you enact it. You don't become attached to it. If in the play you have a girlfriend and she leaves you, and after the play is over, you don't sit down and cry there that my girlfriend left me. No, you come off the stage, the play is over. You are not attached to anything what happened in the play. It does not influence you in any way. You remain aloof from that. Although you do your act very nicely, if you are a good player, good actor, then you act very nicely as if you are really in love with this girl, and when she leaves you may even cry. But inside you are detached. So that is also called play. So that's how you can live the life. That you do everything what is to be done very nicely as a good actor, but within you remain detached. You know that it's just a play. So you have to deal with your enemies, your foes, with your relatives, with your friends and strange people. You deal with them accordingly, not that you become indifferent to everything. Nobody figures it out that is it real. Those people who are really attached to things and doing, you do the same. So that is how Krishna was teaching in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna. That you do it as your duty without sangam tattva dhananjaya. He says, give up attachment and act. So he says that's what is called yoga. So yogi means a player. So you become situated in yoga. Yogastha kur karmani sangam tattva dhananjaya. Siddhyo siddhyo samur bhutva samatvam yoga uchyat. So it says become situated in yoga, yogastha. And then you do act. And what is yoga? He says to remain even, to remain balanced in success and failure. Siddhyo siddhyo samo bhutva samatvam yoga uchyat. Yoga means to be sama. So samatva, equanimity of the mind. Externally you may show anger, or you may laugh, or you have other, but inside you are always balanced. That is yoga. So then you don't become attached by that. So this is the meaning of play. So God also creates. We create, we become attached. He creates, he remains detached. He also maintains it. He says, I come again and again to fix things. Dharma sansthapanartha sambhavami yuga yuga. But he does not become implicated. Vartayevacha karmani namam karmani limpanti na me karma phales priya. He says the actions do not implicate me. Why? Because I am not attached to the fruits. I don't have the desire for the fruits. Na me karma phales priya. iti mam yo bhijanati sakambhi. So one who knows this, he also becomes free from karma. Because if you know this truly, then you will also act like that. So sakambhi badhyate. It's not bound and by the karma. So that is the science which is being described here when it says Magridha. So, samyak vasarhamiti va tenaiva swakridaspadatvena srishtatvat. So he has made it for his play. Like children go to the beach, they make some house in the sand. They are playing. When it's time to go back, they destroy everything. Let's go. So God creates, He also destroys it. And it's His playground. Both are play for Him. Creation is a play, in between is a play, destroying is also play. Therefore Shiva, when he is destroying, he is dancing. It's called Tandav Nritya. He just does a dance. तत्र स्थाने भगवन मंदिरम तदर्चाम च संस्थाप्य तदनुज्ञाम संप्रार्थ्यैव स्ववास गृहं ततो निकृष्टमेव सेवक बुद्ध्या निर्मीयताम न तु तत्र स्वस्यैव स्वत्वम् आरोप्य मंदिर अनिर्मायैव इत्यादि को ध्वनि. So he is bringing out one Dhvani, Vyanjana meaning out of this. This is called the hidden meaning. Because he says that this is the place of residence for God. So he says, therefore, if you want to live here, then first make a temple of God. Because it is a place for Him to live. Isa Vasham, Atma Vasham Idam Vishwam. It is a place for His residence. First is, he gave two meanings of avasham. That one is that He pervades everything. Other is that it is for Him to live. Which means that if I want a house, instead of building a house for me to live, I should build a house for Him to live. So you think that you are building a house for God, and establish God in that. He should be the prime owner of the house, should be the prime master, and then you live under Him. So that is how one should live. That is, he says, that is the, he says, tato nikrishtam eva sevak buddhya nirmiyatam. So either you make a house and you live both together, or he says make a temple, and then after praying to Him, taking His permission, then you make your house smaller than His house and live next to Him as His servant. So this is how the temples were built in Vrindavan. All these big temples which you see, so there are the people who built them. They were all saintly people, so they were also living next to the temple in a small room. So the main temple will be big. That's where the boss is. He is the owner. And next to that they are living like His servants. They are offering food to God, they are doing worship, they are cleaning. So they say, I live in the temple of God, it is His property, and I am serving Him. That was the mood. So they did not build house for themselves. That's how they lived. So he says, therefore, one should not build house without building a temple for God, and just build a house and consider oneself as the owner of that and live in that. So even if you don't build a temple, at least the house in which you live you should think that this is the house of God and I am just a facilitator, so I can maintain this for Him. That should be the mood, that should be the awareness. That is the meaning of Atma Vashyam Idam Sarvam Yat Kinchit Jagatyam Jagat. Evam Bahudhana Sadabhave Api Tena Parameshwarena Yatyaktam Karmkarebhya Vetanamiva Yaddattam Dhanam Tenaiva Bhunjitha Bhogan Bhungshva Magridha. So then the next one it says Tena Tyaktena Bhunjitha. It says then when you live like this, you have built a nice house for God, you are living there as an employee of God, as a servant of God. So then you should eat thinking that He is the one who is giving me salary, and you live with that. So the meaning is that whatever you eat, you first offer to Him and then take the remnants, the prasad of God, and not become an independent enjoyer. So Parameshwarena Yat Tyaktam, so means what has been given by God. So although you may have a lot of wealth, so then you have to think that from this wealth belongs to God. If you have much, from that I take little, which has been allocated by God for my use. And then I realize that. So, Magridha Adhikam Adattam Va Mabhikangsha. So don't take more or don't desire more than which has been not given to you. Tat sevayam tad bhakta sevayam va cha bahudhanam teneva bhunjita bhagan bhungsha magridha. So engage the wealth in the service of God or in the service of His devotees. Tat sevayam tad bhakta sevayam cha bahudhanam teneva bhunjita bhogan bhungsha. And this is how you enjoy utilizing your wealth. Magridha adhikam adattam vamabhikankshi tat sevayam tad bhakta sevayam cha bahudhanam paryapti kritya tacheshenaiva putra mitra kalatradinam swasva cha udarbhanam kurviti bhava. So he says that utilize money for you, for your wife, husband, children, etc. what has been allocated to you by God. Means don't misuse unnecessarily. Nanu te putra kalatradayo natra vyavasthayam sammanyeran tatra satarjana maha svit prashneyare kasya dhanam svagrihe sthitam api dhanam parmeshwaram vina kasya na kap. So then someone says, well, children, wife, they don't listen. They're not going to listen to me. They'll think all the wealth is theirs. So then, with angry mood, he says, Kasya Svidhanam, who judges this wealth? You think this belongs to you? So he says, Are Kasya Dhanam Swagrihe Sthitam Api Dhanam. He says, even the wealth which is in your house or in your bank account, who judges it? Yours? He says, no. This is not yours. Parmeshwaram vina kasya na kasyapi. Says it belongs only to God and not to anyone else. Yavad bhriyeta jatram tavat swatvam hidevinam adhikam yo himanyeta sasteno dandam arhati iti Naradokta. So he says Narada had said it earlier that as much as is necessary to fill up your belly, that much is yours. And if you take more, then you are a thief and you should be punished. Yadva kasyachid anyasyapi dhanam magridha tatha cha shruti. Or the meaning is that do not covet the wealth of others. That is alternative meaning. That you have your own wealth, what you have, and don't try to unnecessarily covet others' wealth. That somehow I get this money from him or her and then use it for me. So he says, do not covet like that. And then Isavashyamidam Sarvam, he is referring to that sloka from Isaupanishad. So then the next verse says, Yam na pashyati pashyantam chaksuryasya nirishyati tam bhutaniliyam devam suparnam upadhavata. He says, worship that Lord who is residing in everybody, whom the eye cannot see while seeing. Yam na pashyati pashyantam chaksuryasya nirishyati. The eye cannot approach him, cannot reach him. So he says, you should worship him. And his vision is never impaired, his eye is never destroyed, he sees everything. So he is seeing everyone, but we do not see him. So you may think that I can cheat someone and take away his wealth, or I can steal, and you think that nobody is watching me. But he says that he is watching you. Yam pashyantam chakshur na pashyati yasya chakshur na rishyati. So he is always watching you all the time, like a CCTV. So like a hidden camera, God is watching every move you make. So you may think you are alone in the room, but he is always there. You don't see him, but he is seeing you.
My son got very up and disturbed when he heard this.
Yes.
That's so gross.
Why is it so gross?
I don't know, he used this. He used this expression. Like, he's in the bathroom or something, and God watches this. No privacy, yeah.
Privacy you can have from others, but not from God. That's the meaning, God is everywhere. Otherwise God is only in your drawing room, not in your bathroom, not in your bedroom. So you can do what you like to do there, and he is not watching. No, he is everywhere. And this is a fact. It's not some allegorical thing. That's why Krishna says, everywhere are my eyes, nose, ears, hands. Sapram Grahanam. So it is a fact. Therefore it says, Yamna pashyati pashyamtam. That you don't see him, the one who is seeing you. So he is observing you all the time. If you can just remember this much, it is enough to change your life. You can just think that God is always watching you. Whether you sleep or you are awake, you walk or you talk, you are alone or you are with other people, He is always watching you, like a hidden camera. And everything is in record. So you cannot escape. You can call it gross or subtle, doesn't matter. You can say it is very gross or it's very subtle. And His vision is never impaired. Sometimes your hidden camera may stop functioning. There can be some defect in it. But His camera never, it's foolproof.
All goes to gross book.
So it's always. So tam bhuta nilayam, because He says He is a bhuta nilaya. He is inside the house in which you are living. He is inside. So He is watching you from inside. He knows even your thoughts. You will say, well, He can watch what I am doing, what about my thinking? He knows even your thought. Not only what you say or what you do, but even what you think is known to Him. So tam bhuta nilayam devam supernam upadhavata. So He says, therefore just worship Him. Nanu yadi jagadidam tasyaiva avasyam tari katham sa kvapi na drishyate tatrahi. So the question is, or doubt is raised, that if this world is place of His residence and He is residing, then why no one sees Him? What is the mystery? So then this verse is spoken. Nanu tarhi ghatanashe devdattasya tad vishayam chakshusam jnanamiva drishyasya jagato nase parmeshwarasya pi tad vishayam jnanam nasyet tatraha chakshu. So He says, if you are watching a pot, you have knowledge of that pot. If that pot is destroyed or is taken away, then you don't have knowledge of that pot because you don't see it. You can remember it, but you don't perceive it. So like that, the world is there, then when the world is destroyed, then he has no knowledge of the world. So he says, yes, he does not have knowledge of the world, but that does not mean that his knowledge faculty is destroyed. So chakshuhu swarup bhuta jnana shaktir na nashyati. So he says that his jnana shakti, his power to see, power to observe, that is not destroyed. Svabhaviki jnana balak kriyacha. Because his knowledge, his power to see, his power to know, his power of his senses, power of his mind. So he says they are natural. So natural means they are not acquired and then they are taken away. In our case, we have these powers, they are acquired and they are taken away. So you have good vision, then you get old, then your vision becomes impaired. You cannot see properly, you cannot hear properly, you cannot smell properly, you cannot eat properly, you cannot digest properly. Because all this power which you feel when you are young, this is just borrowed. So you feel proud of this borrowed power for some time. Then slowly it is taken away. You can continue to feel proud, but now it is false. It was false to begin with. But now even you don't have. Because people have the habit when they get old, they still want to eat the same amount and boast, I can eat this much. But actually they cannot digest that anymore. That's why people fall sick. Because their digestive power goes down, but their eating habits remain same. So So then there is an ama created, and then diseases come. So that's the reason. Nahi savitri prakashaha prakashanase nashyati iti bhava. He said, just like the light of the sun is not lost when there is nothing to illuminate. Bhuta nilayam sarvantaryaminam devam divyam tamasangam suparnam jivatma sakham iti srute. So he is the antaryami, he is the immanent being in everybody. He is deva, he is divine. And suparna actually means a bird. Suparna means feather. Suparna means very nice feather. So here Suparna means God, because in the Upanishad, God and the living being, they are compared to two birds. So Suparna means the friend of living being. Dau Suparnam Sayuja Sakaya Samanam Vrikshas Parishas Vijate Tayo Reko Pippalam Swaduvatti Tadanyam Anasnam Vichakashiti. So two birds are sitting on the tree of the body. One is eating the fruits of one's karma, which are good and bad, pleasure and pain. The other is not eating, he is just looking as an observer. So that's why he is called here as Suparna. So he says you should upadhavata sevadhvam, you worship him, and by doing that you will also become like him. So that is the meaning of this verse. It's a very nice verse. If you have any question, otherwise we will stop.
So we can be observers also by acting, while acting.
Yes.
I remember this what Vita said when I was a teenager in the religion class. They were saying the same, and then I thought that on some point after I die, he's going to play a video, and he said, see, here, 12 years old, you hit your friend in the stomach, you go on the left, you know, forward. And I said, well, when I was 13, I did something good, kind of negotiate.
It's a fact, it's like that. Because everything is imprinted inside, in the chitta.